We're gathered here tonight around the fire, as people of all lands have gathered for thousands and thousands of years before us, to share a light and to share a story. An amazing story, as old as time itself, but still being written. And though each of us has our own individual stories to tell, a true adventure emerges when we bring all of them together as one. We hope you enjoy our episode today, episode 10, our Fireworks and Guy Fawkes Day episode. Hi guys, and welcome to the Blue Sky Lounge. I am your host, Tyler Iantkow. Now today's episode is about fireworks and other nighttime show ideas, which happen to coincide with Guy Fawkes Day, also known as Bonfire Night in the United Kingdom. This week's guest is Gary, and he is from the UK, and is going to tell us some history about Guy Fawkes Day, and we're also going to go and talk about different show ideas that we have for the nighttime in Disney parks and resorts. Now please welcome Gary to the show. All right, so we have Gary with us here at the Blue Sky Lounge. Gary, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
Awesome. All right, so tell me about your Disney story.
Okay. Well, I've been a Disney fan since first going to Disney World when I was 10-year-old. Since then, I've gone to the parks, to Florida especially, quite a lot of times. Used to go like every other year or so until I was like 18, 19, and then started doing my own trips there, doing solo trips, probably once every 2 or 3 years or so. And then I found out about the Disney International programs. So I applied, didn't get through, got rejected, applied again, got rejected, and it was the third time that I applied that I actually got through for the Cultural Representative Program. So I did that in 2011, okay, which is when you was out there.
Yeah.
And I like to do this in a weird order, so bear with me.
Okay.
Since then, I've done a lot of other things. Like I said, I spent some time in Canada. But recently, I did another couple of programs because I went back to university.
Okay.
So I was able for the international college program.
Yep.
So I went for that. Luckily, just before they closed it all down, for everything that's going on.
Okay.
So I was out there last year, and I was working as a park greeter at Disney Hollywood Studios.
Nice.
Which was fun. It was a lot more work than people think.
Right.
The standing at the front gates talking to people.
Yeah.
But no, it was good fun. And the reason that I said I do it in a reverse, like a weird order, is because I always like to end on this one.
Okay.
So that was last year. In 2018, I was lucky enough to work as a butler at the Haunted Mansion.
Oh.
So that's like my prized possession that I like to like put out there. It's like, yeah, I worked there.
That's so cool. Without giving away any of the magic, like what were some of the like coolest things that you found out while working there?
There is just so much detail in that ride that nobody will ever see.
Yeah.
Like we had to do walkthroughs after the park closed and things, and there is so much detail.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the things people have spotted, like the Nightmare Before Christmas books laid around inside there.
Yeah.
A few different nods to different things.
Yeah.
But if you actually can just walk through and look at everything, and I got friendly with one of the maintenance guys there.
Yeah.
Who was very kind enough to walk us up through to the actual mansion doors.
Okay.
And the detail that is so far away that nobody can ever see. Yeah, it's still there.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
That's so cool. What does Disney mean to you? How, when you think of Disney, what's the feeling that you get inside?
Well, to me, Disney has kind of helped me through a lot of hard times.
Okay.
In my life, I've never really had like an interest in other things, like a lot of kids and things interested in sports. I was never a sporty person growing up, still not now. A lot of people have interests in various different things. The only thing that I had an interest in was Disney, but not a lot of people did. So it was difficult to find those people to be able to kind of build a friendship or relationship with people like-minded like that.
Yeah.
So even though I wasn't able to grow up with friends that had that kind of love for Disney like I have, just having it for myself has kind of given me something to do and to look into and to research and things like that, rather than just being sat there bored, doing nothing, or forcing myself to do things that I don't like.
Yeah.
So I know it sounds very pretty much like everyone says, but it's a happy place.
Yeah,
it really is. Even if it's just in thought, it does help through times.
Mm-hmm. I definitely get where you're coming from, and that's a very, very true and very special feeling that I think a lot of people do have. So I definitely know that you're not alone in that, which is good, because I kind of feel the same way. I had a very kind of similar upbringing. Like I was an only child and didn't have a lot of friends when I was growing up, and then it was marching band that kind of like made my friendship base grow bigger. But prior to that, there was always like a lot of Disney movies playing in my house and Disney growing up. And then once I was in the marching band scene, Disney kind of went away for a while, and then it came back when I went to college and university. But it's always had like a big place in my life, which is really nice.
Good.
And now we have Disney throwing up in our house.
The one thing that I always remember from looking back as a kid was ordering the Disney Vacation Planning DVDs or the VHSs back then.
Yeah.
And just playing those until my parents like just screamed. They've heard them 1,000 times. But...
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. So this week's topic is fireworks and Guy Fawkes, or Bonfire Night in the UK, because Bonfire Night is November 5th this year, I believe. So
it is, yes.
Because you're from the UK, can you tell us a little bit about Guy Fawkes Night or Bonfire Night and what the significance is in UK culture?
Okay, so this is kind of like a weird holiday, especially for people. I mean, it is really, when you think about it, for myself, but especially for people that's never been brought up with it.
Yeah.
So Bonfire Night, or Guy Fawkes Night, a few different names for it, is basically the celebration of capturing a terrorist, if you like. Basically, there was a group of people that didn't like the monarchy and who was in charge and things like that, and they decided, if we can like overthrow who's in charge, we can have the next generation be brought into charge and basically make their own government and rulings.
Okay.
So the group of people decided to blow up Parliament, so houses of a Parliament, so everybody that was in there, to make new rules and everything like that. And they knew that the royal family would also be there at that certain time. Okay. So they decided to sneak in barrels and barrels of gunpowder to hide under the Houses of Parliament and basically blow it up.
Okay.
Like I said, there was a group of people, because it's known as Guy Fawkes Night, the person that was in charge of the gunpowder and explosives was a guy called Guy Fawkes.
Okay.
So they left him to it because he had experience with that before.
Yeah.
And as everything was being set up to light, obviously Guy got captured and caught. And as far as I'm aware, they never found out who else was involved, which is why it's called Guy Fawkes Night.
Yeah, because Stevie's from the UK, obviously, and she was telling me like it's it's a big night where there's like big fireworks displays in the UK. So that's why we decided to have our fireworks episode, for this episode. It's history, man. You can't go back on history, and it's good to know about different cultures and how things came to be, and it resulted in what I've heard are amazing fireworks displays in the UK. So that's what's good.
Well, unfortunately not this year with everything that's happening, because we're going back into lockdown tomorrow.
Oh no.
On November the 1st, so everything's being cancelled.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually it's really good fun. You get to go out and there's usually like a fairground and food stalls and fireworks. So
nice. Very cool. All right. So our theme this week is fireworks. When you were working at Disney, did you ever have any chance to work with any fireworks technicians or anything like that? Or were you just always a fan and watched them? Or
no, unfortunately not. No. As far as I'm aware, they're a completely different department.
Yeah.
I think to where I could even get to.
Yeah.
Like with working in the attractions and things, the most I saw was maintenance guys. I mean, there probably could have been a way to get in touch with them, because I did try to get in touch with some people from different areas, because my profession is a prop maker.
Okay.
So I tried to get in touch with those kind of people, but that was still difficult then. So no, unfortunately not. No, it was mainly just the from guest-facing roles.
Yeah. What do you feel is it about Disney fireworks that puts it above everything else?
I think for me, it's just how far they actually go. I swear, off the top of my head, that I've heard that they used to spend like $100,000 a night on fireworks or something ridiculous like that.
I've heard that.
And I don't know anywhere that would spend that kind of money per night and do it every single night of the year.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's and the immersion that they put you in as well, because obviously it's not just here's some fireworks. They put a story to it.
Yeah.
And basically bring you into the show that they're providing.
Yeah.
And just how intense and immersive it is as well. It's just captures you.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite fireworks display that you've seen, or even not necessarily fireworks, like a favorite night? Like, have you ever seen World of Color at Disney's California Adventure?
I have, yes. Yeah, I've managed to get over to Disneyland a couple of times now. The first time World of Color wasn't on, they was doing maintenance and things on it. But yes, I have seen it, and it was so cool. I really did enjoy that. But I've always said, and always will, my favorite fireworks show is always Wishes.
I
It's
get
the one that I grew up with. That's I listen to it 1,000 times a day.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it didn't have the fancy projections like Happily Ever After does now.
Yeah.
That hits hard, and I would love to see that come back.
Yeah. I definitely understand that for sure. If you could build any type of nighttime fireworks display for anywhere in the world, any Disney park, what kind of elements would you bring in?
With everything that's been going on recently, especially like in Epcot for their new shows and things that they've been bringing on.
Yeah.
I know that are they bringing drones into Harmonious?
I keep hearing things, yes and no. I don't know. 100%.
Okay. Because I've seen some of the shows online from like Asia and places like that with the drone displays, which look absolutely amazing. I'm not too sure how that would work like in a park.
Yeah.
Because there's not too much area to set them off and things and have them fly around. But that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with everything that's going off with the projections and everything that they're doing, they're kind of along the right tracks to where I can see it headed to. The one thing that I do like that the other parks don't have though with Epcot, was the fire barge. I feel like that was a little bit of a unique twist on it.
Yeah.
And one thing that I would love to add into a show again would be the interactivity. If you can remember the glow of the show ears,
Yeah.
something along that. Because I love Disneyland, how well, that's Walt Disney World with the Magic Kingdom, how the turrets have now being projected on, so it kind of comes around you a little bit more. Whereas at Disneyland, the show runs all the way down Main Street. You can look all the way around you, 360 degrees, and I like that kind of immersiveness. So if they could bring that, even if I was thinking about this earlier when you messaged me, and I was like, it would be cool if you could do something not just on Main Street or not just in front of the castle. If they could do a certain thing throughout the park. So you could have the projections on certain areas, but it kind of all interlaced in a way. So if you was walking through, you could still see the show without missing anything.
Yeah.
And just kind of taking that Disneyland Main Street thing and just moving it, taking it a bit further around the park as well. I'm not too sure how that would work, but
when I envision it in my head, because I don't know about yourself as a cast member, or a former cast member, but when I was a cast member, you know, I could see the shows whenever I wanted to. So a lot of times I would miss parades and I would miss the fireworks and I would go on the rides because that's when the lowest wait times are.
Exactly.
And, you know, when you're a cast member, you don't want to wait half hour for a ride. You want to wait 5 minutes for a ride.
That's true.
So, but I imagine when you're talking about this and having that full immersiveness, I imagine, like, you know, walking through Tomorrowland, let's say, and you're going to Space Mountain, and you arrive up to Space Mountain and you still see the projections that are on the castle projected onto Space Mountain somehow. And it still, it has to be changed a little bit, obviously, because it's not the same profile or outline as the castle. So they would have to change the projection, obviously, but it would still be around the same theme. I don't know if that's what you're envisioning or not, but that when you were talking about it, that's what I was thinking. Is like, that would be really cool to, you might not necessarily see the fireworks, but you could still have the show playing in the background and you could still see parts of it in different areas. So like, you could walk through Tomorrowland and see it on Space Mountain. You could walk through, let's say, Fantasyland and see it on, like, I don't know, Small World or something. Or you could walk through Adventureland and see it projected onto Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know, but that's just the kind of thing that I was envisioning when you were talking about that. And I think that would be really cool, because
something along those lines. When you were just saying that, then I just thought it would be cool if they had have like a soundtrack that could run over. So if you went to Tomorrowland, you could have it like a space themed show going on there. If you went to Adventureland, you could have like a pirates themed show going on there. But it all kind of worked together with the same music. Yeah. So that you can go from one land to another, and it's the same music throughout. So it's not transitioning from one to another.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
You get a different show.
Yeah. So if I'm understanding this right, you would let's again say walking through Tomorrowland, and you're in the hub where the main fireworks are taking place, and you hear "Someday My Prince Will Come," let's say. And you walk through to Tomorrowland and you still hear "Someday My Prince Will Come," but it's got that space theme to it. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome. I think Disney should totally get on that.
That would be interesting to see, definitely.
Yeah, I really like that idea. And you can have like, you know, have like that space theme and have it kind of be more synth type music, and then you can go to Adventureland and have it be more, you know, percussive. And I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely would.
That, oh man, I like that. I really like that, actually. That's very cool. I know that they used to have drones at Disney Springs. I was actually looking this up last night, and I think it was 2016, they did a holiday show in Disney Springs where they set off 300 drones. They made a whole bunch of different formations in the air over top of the lake
Right.
in
Yeah.
Disney Springs there. I think it would be really cool to have drones incorporated into nighttime shows somehow. I think it's a lot
Hmm.
harder with fireworks, and I think a very good fit for it would be um, at Disney's Animal Kingdom
Yeah.
because you can't have the
Yes.
fireworks there, right? So I think if you were to incorporate something like a World of Color and a
Ooh,
drone show and combine them into one and have that be at Animal Kingdom, that would be really cool.
that would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the kind of the big thing that I thought of, and like you could have. Um, did you ever see Rivers of Light at Animal Kingdom?
I saw the basically the end variation of it, which I
Yeah,
was told it wasn't as good as the original, but
yeah. I Stevie and I saw it last year, and it was good. It wasn't my favorite, but it was all right.
mhm.
But I definitely think it would have done a lot better had it been more similar to World of Color and have like those
Yeah,
cannons in the water and the vivid colors and stuff like that. And you could still have like the projections projected onto like the big mist screens that they make and things like that. And you can definitely have it more animal oriented for the park. But I think that having that kind of World of Color esque type show with the vivid colors and things like that um, would definitely make that show pop a lot more. And I
oh
think
yeah, I definitely
incorporating
agree.
drones into it would be would be an extra special touch that you don't see in a lot of nighttime shows. So
Yeah, no, that would be really really cool.
yeah, awesome. All right. Do you have any other ideas that you want to share?
Ooh, one of the things that I was thinking about when you mentioned like fireworks and things like that, I don't know why, but again, my head went to Epcot first, and I thought with World Showcase being like the on the big scale that it is,
Mm-hmm.
it would be cool to, again, like I've mentioned with Magic Kingdom having separate areas, to do like a variation of whatever shows showing
Yeah.
from each country. So, like the UK would be more British themed or whatever.
Okay.
And you go around to China, it'd be Chinese. So, wherever you're viewing the show from, the audio
Yeah.
kind of changes or something like that.
Yeah.
Be a very interesting
Yeah.
way to watch the show.
I definitely think that would be um, doable. I think it's a little bit harder as well, given the fact that a lot of like westernized countries music styles are a little bit similar, but you
Mm.
could do it in the way that you could theme the Italian pavilion, for instance. You could theme it to maybe not necessarily Italian music, but you could theme it to a musical style, like a Baroque style, or something that is famous
Yeah,
for the
definitely.
Italian area, and something like or like a composer that was like famous from that area. All right. Well, Gary, I really appreciate you coming on to the show today.
Not a problem.
If you want to come back, I would be more than happy to have you.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Definitely will.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on, and I look forward to getting to chat some more about some more Disney things.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks again for coming on the show, Gary. Now, you guys have submitted a lot of very bright ideas, so let's get started. Vicky, who is also from the United Kingdom, has gone to Disneyland Paris quite a bit and says that there's actually a water show at Disneyland Paris. But one of the more magical things that she's ever seen was when she went to visit Disneyland in California and got to see the World of Color show. Warren also agreed with Vicky and said that he is a huge fan of the World of Color show in Disney's California Adventure. The only thing that he would change to the show is the scene where Mufasa dies. He suggested going with something a little bit softer and sweeter, like maybe the melting of Olaf. I love that you two are such huge fans of the World of Color show. It is one of my all-time favorite nighttime shows in any Disney park. With the vivid lights that come through the water jets, as well as the projections that they use, it just blows my mind what they're able to do with just water. What I would love to see is a show like this come to Disney World, like I was talking about with Gary. Maybe something in Disney's Animal Kingdom. With the Rivers of Light Theater already there, you already have the structure built, so you have a viewing area. It would be great if they could just put it into the Discovery River, like I said, and you could easily have the projections on there, and you could use a lot more Disney animal IP. So what I mean by that is by using Disney movies that have animals already incorporated into it, like Robin Hood, The Rescuers, Finding Nemo, Dinosaur, Oliver and Company, Bambi. The great thing about those is that some of those are already incorporated into the park, like Disney's Finding Nemo, or Pixar's Finding Nemo, and the Dinosaur movie, already incorporated with the Finding Nemo show and the Dinosaur ride. I think those would be great fits there, and you would have a very similar show to that of World of Color in Disney's California Adventure. Now, they could also do another water show in Disney's Hollywood Studios in Echo Lake. Now, granted, that body of water is much smaller, but maybe you do a smaller fountain type show that can still go off in the daytime or at night. The nice thing about it is if you do a fountain show, you can have it go on multiple times a day, much like the Fountain of Nations had at Epcot before Epcot started going through its massive refurbishment. You could have the fountain go off, like I said, and you could also have it at nighttime and have the colored water jets like World of Color. Now, Chris suggested bringing back a drone show like what they had in Disney Springs. For those of you that don't know, back in 2016 during the holiday season, there was a drone show over the lake at Disney Springs, where there was about 300 drones that were flying in the sky making different images and formations. Though I never got to see the drone show live, I have seen it online and it looked amazing. I love the idea of using drones to make a formation in the sky, and like I said with Gary, I think this would be a great fit for Disney's Animal Kingdom. Now, even if they chose not to do a water show, like I was talking about earlier, they could still do a drone show. All you would have to do is use the seating for the Rivers of Light experience and have the drone show go off over the Discovery River. The sound that was used for River of Light didn't bother the animals, so you could have different sound and different music for the drone show. The drones themselves don't make that much noise, so that's not going to disturb the animals either. I think it would be a great fit for Animal Kingdom. Grace and Holly both think that using classic Disney music like soundtracks would be a fun idea for a fireworks show. Grace thought I would love a fireworks show about a day in the parks, and the music would be a medley of all of the soundtracks from the attractions throughout the park. I feel like for a lot of people, the attraction soundtracks are overlooked because of the excitement that they're experiencing while they are on the ride. I just think it would be really cool to have a magical wrap-up of the experiences you've just had, and the fireworks in some way could represent that attraction, matching the soundtrack. And Holly thought Disney should do shows that are tailored to the park itself. So for instance, in Epcot, they could tailor it to the music of Future World and the World Showcase. Or for the studios, you could have epic music like Indiana Jones, Star Wars, or any other kind of big movies like that. Now, Holly and Grace, I think these are great ideas. It sounds similar to that of the Epcot Forever fireworks show that Epcot had recently. I think it would be fun to have each park make their own show that is made to the soundtracks of the park. Even if you have multiple shows per park, like Epcot Forever and Harmonious, for instance, in Epcot, or Happily Ever After, and maybe a show called A Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow for Magic Kingdom. For the Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow one, you could theme it according to the lands of the park, maybe starting off in Adventureland, and then Frontierland, and Liberty Square, and Fantasyland, and eventually ending in Tomorrowland, with A Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow playing as the finale. I think that would be a lot of fun, and it would be really nice because it means that people aren't going to see just one fireworks show. They would have to come back multiple times to see multiple fireworks shows. So you're going to have guests in the parks twice as much seeing two different shows. It's kind of nice for Disney, if you ask me. And that's a wrap for this week's show. All of those ideas were a blast to read and to share with you. Now join Matt and I next week for our Disney Charities episode. Comment below with your ideas for possible new ways for Disney to help out with the community. And get your thinking caps on for our show in 2 weeks when we have our Liberty Square overlay show featuring the ideas from Hamilton. Make sure you're not throwing away your shot and give us your ideas. Now, if you do have any ideas from today's episode, or if you have ideas for a future episode, make sure you leave a comment down below or email me at theblueskylounge@gmail.com. We're also on most social media platforms by searching the Blue Sky Lounge. And make sure to like and subscribe to this page and leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts. We would love to see what you guys are thinking of the show. Now, please note that this podcast is not affiliated with Disney in any way. This is a fan-run show with fan ideas and artwork, and is in no true representation of what may or may not happen with Disney in the future. Now, thank you so much for taking the time out of your week to join us here at the Blue Sky Lounge, and just remember to think, dream, believe, and dare yourself to use your imagination. Who knows what kind of blue sky thinking you can do from your armchair. Thanks.